Hello and welcome to Talking Dead Home Edition. So in the interest of keeping everyone safe at Walking and Talking Dead, we decided to go remote for a few episodes, but we hope to be back in the studio very soon. Tonight was the action-packed premiere of part 2 of the final season of The Walking Dead. We are in it now. We witnessed the thrilling conclusion of the explosive Reaper battle. We saw how Alexandria just barely survived being flooded, and we learned that poor Alden sadly did not survive being hidden away in that church. So, will Daryl regret sparing Leah? And what will Negan do? Where will he go now that he's left the group? What's up with that future face-off at Hilltop? And why is Daryl in a Stormtrooper getup? Well, we have a lot of interviews with the cast, some inside info about this episode that you can't get anywhere else, and an exclusive sneak peek of next week's episode of The Walking Dead. My guest tonight, executive producer and showrunner Angela Kang, Maggie herself, Lauren Cohan is here, and Lynn Collins, who plays the Reaper Leah. I am Chris Hardwick, and this is Talking Dead Home Edition. The conversation is just beginning. We want to hear from you. Tweet us or hit us up on Instagram at AMC Talking Dead or go to Talking Dead's Facebook page. Please say hello to my guests, Angela Kang, Lauren Cohan, and Lynn Collins. Lynn, this premiere was pretty much like an action film. When you watch it back, what was it that you were the most surprised by or impressed with?
Just the production value of the show in general this season, I think, is so incredible. But it made, as far as I'm concerned, it made it so easy to do my job because literally, it was the Watcha, like, on fire, getting after it. It was kind of terrifying, actually. It was terrifying.
There was so much action in this episode, and Lauren, you had quite an action star episode in the premiere. A lot of stunt work, Lauren. What were you feeling this episode?
Yeah, I can only second that, what Lynn said. The production value and the Watcha was so real. And I was really grateful to Monty, who gave me the biggest, toughest stunt people to fight against, because there was very little acting required. It was so fun. Maggie has had episodes and episodes of a lot of internal struggle. And in so many ways, just all the physical difficulty of this was kind of cathartic to get into, both for me and I would imagine for her. Well, let's not speak for her. I don't think it felt too good. But yeah, just on an action, on an episodic level, I think that I was just so happy how thrilling and how film-like these episodes have felt. We just sort of had, it's always fun in the show and you get to see your heroes overcoming these massive physical obstacles, and everybody just brought it to such a high level. It was fun. Yeah, we call this the bruising dead.
Well, Angela, so Maggie just keeps coming back and coming back and coming back. Like, what is her motivation at this point and the source of her resilience?
I think her son Herschel, is such a source of strength. Maggie is just one of our characters that has been through so much, and we've seen it play out. Some of our characters came into the apocalypse and they'd already lost the people they loved. And what we saw was Maggie had a whole family and she found somebody that she loved. And then we watched them one by one fall. And she's just become this incredible leader, somebody who's got so much strength and is holding on to the strength on behalf of the people that she leads, on behalf of the people she loves. And so I think she feels like she can't really let down, like she's got to stay strong because it's not just about her.
Lynn, let's talk about the standoff scene and shooting that, and what do you remember most about that whole setup?
Well, do you remember, Lauren, how there were the hawks? There were 4 adolescent hawks that were going basically from the corner of the tallest building to these set of trees that were opposite us. So as we're shooting, they're squawking and carrying on, and then they just keep getting closer to, at one point, it was so close. There was one that had just basically flown into the shot and was just staring at us. It was so the closest I've really ever been to a hawk. So I thought that was phenomenal because actually that morning, the actor who plays Carver, Alex, it was his last day, and he had given me a hawk feather as a gift. And then here were these hawks around. So I thought it was magical. I loved shooting that. I mean, it was hot
Or the
as
Hawks were like,
Hades.
she's got Joey's feather, get it back, you know? Like they were coming back to reclaim the...
I know, it was so funny. I remember thinking at the time, like, were the Hawks trying to tell us something? Were they trying to get us to be friends and encourage us to find some common ground, or what the deal was? It was funny. They were definitely very much a part of the scene.
Is it possible that the Hawks were just trying to get their SAG cards? Is that possible? And did they?
I mean, I got super close. He was close, you know?
So, you know, there's this huge battle with the Reapers. All this stuff happens. And then Maggie goes off alone to find Alden. Lauren, why does she do that?
Oh, gosh, it was such a emotional moment. I don't know if it was planned, if it was a reaction to the sort of heartbreaking realization that she has with Daryl in that moment, or if it's just kind of this residual hangover from everything that had happened. But nonetheless, I think there's definitely got to be a part of her that knows there may be bad news when she goes and finds Alden. But also it's just that thing of where you need to go off on your own and do something. And I think there's going to be a combination of knowing partly that this had to be done to honor Elijah and to protect her family, and the regret that they've gone so far. You know, it's always this question, are good guys doing things that are very similar to what bad guys do in other situations? And I don't know. I just know personally this is, for me, when I read this script and I saw that this happened, I knew this was a pretty heartbreaking situation that Maggie was in, and so it felt natural that she'd go off by herself after that to process everything that had happened. But yeah, and lo and behold, it's not good news that we find with Sweet Callan.
Angela, can you just really quickly before we go to break, what happened to poor Alden? Can you talk about what happened to him?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, the Reapers, who all have military training, special forces training, like, you know, military contractor training, like they know how to track people. They were on the trail of our folks, or they picked it up at some point, and a guy was sent out to pick up the loose ends, and they found him, and the two of them fought to the death. And I think, like, for Maggie, like, there's just sort of this horrible reminder that, you know, for one thing, here's this person that she really cared about deeply, was a good friend, and the whole thing was just this zero-sum game. Like, both sides, like, could have just fought to the death and all died, and, like, she's seeing that kind of play out right in front of her, and it breaks her heart. But she had to fulfill her promise to come back for him.
Well, I want to have a round of applause for Callan McAuliffe, who
we love Callan.
Played beautifully on the series and then and went out in this episode. But coming up, we have interviews with the cast, plus an exclusive sneak peek of next week's episode of The Walking Dead. But first, before you wonder if Daryl's still wearing his vest under that trooper suit, let's slow things down and say a final farewell to all those we've lost tonight.
COHAN.